Alright guys, so I've been having a look what could we do a video about all day today, and David Ornstein has dropped another, well I think this is another, maybe he started doing it again. It's called Ask Ornstein, where subscribers to The Athletic can ask questions and he answers them as best to his ability. And there's a few things in here regarding Liverpool, so we're going to cover those right now. If you do end up enjoying this content, guys, make sure you're hitting that like button, subscribing, and also, most importantly, guys, I want to know your thoughts on everything that Ornstein is about to cover. So, first and foremost, we'll do the first question. I'll read the question out to you, and then I'll give you his answer as well. So, do Liverpool hold an interest in Dean Huijsen, and could he be a realistic option given his release clause? Ornstein says, for any top teams seeking a centre-back, Huijsen will likely be on the radar. He's expected to move for that 50 million clause, which is active in the summer, and I'm sure Bournemouth, the player, and his suitors would ideally like some clarity sooner rather than later so they can plan accordingly. We know Chelsea have been looking closely at him, Newcastle have been heavily linked, but not sure I see that one materialising. And even massive clubs on the continent like Madrid and Munich are being mentioned in certain quarters. Some I speak to think he could well move overseas, but nothing seems to be set in stone yet. Richard Hughes and members of Liverpool's recruitment team will know him particularly well given their links to Bournemouth, but I'm not sure if they're pursuing him. I'll need to make some more checks. And you imagine they would need to be somewhat outward movement in Anfield in the centre-back department to create space for such a player. Also, is that position their top priority right now? Let's see. I'm sure we'll come back to Huijsen in topic in the weeks ahead. Now, I disagree with that last part there. I think even if Virgil van Dijk stays, Liverpool need another centre-back. Gomez is injury prone. Kanate is becoming injury prone. We need someone that's going to become the long-term successor to Virgil van Dijk. So what better to do than to sign this 19-year-old for 50 odd million? He comes to Liverpool, he plays a little bit, maybe even plays alongside Virgil van Dijk, and then he eventually takes over when Virgil van Dijk eventually does move on. That could be even this season, guys. We don't even know if he's going to sign a contract, do we? So I do disagree with that last bit. There does seem to be a lot of interest in him from other clubs also. So as of right now, I wouldn't think that Liverpool would go for him, as Richard Hughes, as David Ornstein says there. But I just disagree with the fact that Liverpool don't need a centre-back. I think they need one if Van Dijk stays. If Van Dijk goes, they need at least two. Let me know what you think down below, guys. Next question. Obviously, this was going to come up. Any updates on Salah's contract? He says, not that I'm personally aware of. This doesn't mean they ain't any. It may just be that it hasn't come to the media/public's attention yet. I just know Liverpool have been optimistic for some time that they will reach an agreement because, ultimately, they want Salah to stay, and there is a belief that he is happy and would like the same. Now, of course, the numbers will have to be right on what we think is a proposed 2-year extension. And clearly, that has not been easy. But there has so far been nothing to indicate that talks have stopped or are not moving in a positive direction. Furthermore, when you make checks on rumours, reports and suggestions that Salah might be set for a move to the Saudi Pro League or PSG, for example, you tend to receive pretty immediate and firm denials. I also don't sense the Champions League and EFL Cup final defeats will have any bearing on the outcome or timings. The same I suspect with Virgil van Dijk and Trent. Now, again, I kind of see Salah staying next year, and I do Virgil van Dijk. I have come to the belief that Trent is on his way, guys. I really do. Unless Real Madrid decide to pull out. You know what I mean? I really do think that he's going there. I do think the fact that you've not seen any credible links with Salah or Van Dijk going anywhere else, and I'm saying credible there because the Virgil van Dijk leak that came out the other day wasn't a leak, wasn't credible, it was bullshit, right? So yeah, I'm happy at the moment with how it's going. I know there's people out there, even people on my channel, that aren't happy with the way it's going, but at the end of the day, if them two end up signing, we've all got what we want. No matter how much longer it took, no matter anything like that, if they sign, everyone's happy. So we'll just leave it at that, yeah? And I think this is the last question now, guys. He's been asked basically, again, are you aware of any interest from PSG in Virgil van Dijk? And he's a short answer here, guys. He basically says that all parties are playing down Van Dijk to PSG. Liverpool remain confident that he will extend at Anfield. And again, for those of you who don't know, I probably should have said this at the beginning of the video. Ornstein's pretty much connected with the ownership, like FSG. Paul Joyce is more Edwards, Hughes. So I probably would believe it a little bit more if it came from Joyce, but I still kind of believe it because it's coming from Ornstein, because he does have that link there. But anyway, guys, they are the little bits and bats that David Ornstein has spoken about today. Let me know what you think down below. Do you believe that the guys are staying? Do you think Liverpool should look at Hujisen and potentially one or two centre-backs, depending on what happens? Let me know down below, and I'll catch you in the next one.